All right, we're back. They say it couldn't be done, but we're doing it again. Here with Chad Munitz. Chad, where are we finding you?
Sequel. Beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio.
The sequel. Wait, is that a movie? That should be a movie about Cincinnati. The sequel.
The sequel.
I'm here in Alexandria, Virginia, Saturday morning. What time are we recording this? 9 o'clock on the Beast Coast. I was trying to come up with a good limerick for, West Coast, Best Coast. I'm going to start calling the East Coast the Beast Coast. Is anybody saying that? Do you know that?
We can take it over. Beast Mode was a West Coast player, though.
But don't you think Beast Coast could be cool? We should get that going. We get that trending. Can you do a TikTok on that?
I cannot.
All right, let's get right into it. We got 3 topics. And, of course, we're going to wrap up with our favorite segment, what we're watching and what we're reading. Chad, this is your suggestion, which I want to preface for our viewers out there. This is your idea. We're going to talk about the MLS. This is for Major League Soccer, I think it's called. All right, let's talk MLS.
So, you excited? Season starts. The FC Cincinnati starts their season today in Austin.
Wait. The first game is today?
Today, yes.
You're kidding me.
No.
I need to Google this. I mean, I'm aware that there's a soccer league called Major League Soccer.
There's 28. I looked at the roster. There's 28 teams now.
Yeah, it's almost what NFL's got, 32, right?
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So there's 28 teams. Can you name 5 of them?
Maybe.
You can name 5. Name 5 MLS teams. Cincinnati.
Columbus Crew.
There we go.
There's Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, Real Salt Lake, right?
Real Salt Lake. I think there's Red Bull. New England.
No, Red Bull is
a team in Miami. There's
Red Bull's
team in Austin.
Yeah, Red Bull's in New York, New Jersey. The New England Revolution.
Philadelphia. I've been to their stadium, watched the game there.
What's the name of the team there? Philadelphia Union. I think we're proving our point, right?
But baseball, lockout baseball this year.
Do you think this is MLS's
chance? Year for MLS to take over.
As you know, I woke up this morning and I knew the MLS plays in the spring, but I had no idea today's the official kickoff. And I'm a huge soccer nerd. So much so, I was watching QPR, that is Queen Park Ranger, versus Blackburn Rovers in the EPL. That is the second division of English soccer this morning. Blissfully unaware that the MLS is playing. And you have a team in your town. I have a team in my town, DC United. There's 28 teams. We're struggling to name a dozen of them. What is happening? I think my feelings about the MLS. It is not great soccer. The fan experience can be great.
The quality of play of what you watched this morning better than the quality of play in MLS?
According to various rankings, the MLS is the 15th best league in the world. In fact, the Dutch third division is considered better soccer. Of course, the second division in English soccer is probably 10 times better than what you'll find in MLS, which is fine. I mean, there's, hundreds of leagues. I think there's a list of the top 1,000 professional teams in the world. New York FC, I don't even know what the hell. They're connected to Manchester City. They just won last year's MLS. They are ranked 250th of all the teams in the world. So that to me is the rub. If I'm going to watch soccer, I'm going to watch good quality soccer. But I appreciate what MLS is trying to do. 28 teams, pretty exciting.
And again, I think this is the year. If they've got the right marketing strategy, baseball's on the decline. How many kids are growing up playing baseball versus how many kids are growing up playing soccer, introduce the sport, understand the sport, find it exciting?
Well, the MLB lockup, that is interesting. To me, the key with MLB is spring training, right? Opening day, just the pageantry around it. And of course, the World Series. But if they miss that series, and if you have a bunch of billionaires squabbling with millionaires, does that hurt the game even more?
I think it does. I think it's hard to draw fans back.
But today, FC Cincinnati is going to play a team. What is Austin called? Austin FC, right?
They have a great crest, though. I did notice that. I like their crest.
Oh my God, the fact that you even know what that means is actually pretty telling, which is pretty interesting. But are people, I mean, I don't know anybody talking about MLS.
No, it's going to take a lot to get it to the top of the radar screen. My guess is if you watch SportsCenter this morning, there's very little talk of the season opening.
Yeah, I think that's a good metric. Who even broadcasts MLS soccer? Does ESPN broadcast it? Is it Fox? I don't even know I wouldn't even be able to tell you how to do it.
Couldn't tell you how to find it.
This is not great. So what is our advice to MLS? You mentioned the marketing and kind of communications?
It's all you turned me on to. I'm going to preview my end segment. I started reading The Club 2 days ago.
Fantastic. Good. It's an amazing book, right?
It's amazing and all new information to me. So it's about the start of the Premier League, basically founded in the early 90s, which was a shock to me that I didn't even know. I thought it was existed all along.
Hold on, that is a good point. I mean, I don't know how MLS is probably, I don't know. Looks like
I looked it up. 96 was the first,
96. Okay, so season. It's also a relatively new league.
Yeah.
And obviously they've been playing soccer, football in England for a hell of a long time. And I think the interesting for me about the club is that the professionalization, right, of the sport, and that really launched it to global stratosphere. So maybe we shouldn't be so harsh, or I shouldn't be so harsh on the MLS because it's early days for that league.
I think so. But at the end of the day, it comes down to money to market it and money to get the talent on the field to have a quality game. And they're not there yet.
The talent is, to me, I don't know, maybe because I'm a soccer aficionado, but I just love the sport so much. It does make a big difference. Here in DC, actually, Georgetown is one of the better college soccer teams in the nation. And this past season, they hosted two or three playoff games for the College Cup. And I went to two matches. The first match, they played Georgia Southern, and you could just tell the quality of Georgetown was 10x, and they won that match pretty easily. And then I think they played Providence, and the quality wasn't that good. But I was feeling like there's obviously a handful of kids on this pitch right now that are going to go to MLS. None of them stood out to me that they had the chance to go to Europe. But maybe MLS doesn't have to be the best league in the world, right? Maybe it just has to be better is what we should probably expect.
And then have good fan experience at stadiums, which I think they are doing that. Every MLS game I've been to has actually been a great fan experience.
It does seem like they've done a really good job of making the field really compact, kind of embracing European traditions, the pageantry. The stadium experience, they're all new. I think MLS has done a good job of saying we got to have soccer-specific stadiums. Some of my earliest soccer DC United experiences were going out to the cavernous, antiquated, RFK Stadium, eating cold food. And that is in the club. They talk about that a lot. There's that, I don't know where you are in the book, but there's a whole section where one of the owners, he's obsessed with toilets. He's like, you don't have good water, bathroom facilities, you don't have good anything, right? And from a fan experience, that's really telling. So what's your prediction? Right. Who's going to win the MLS this year?
I have no idea, but I predict FC Cincinnati will not end in last place.
That's a bold prediction because I think they won 3 games last year.
Yeah.
Here's another inside tip too I'm hearing, because for our global audience of soccer fans out there, the World Cup is going to be played in Qatar at the end of the year. I think November, December, basically. I'm hearing rumors that other teams will be playing, because they're going to see basically a month break in the other leagues, that teams that don't have players playing in the World Cup are going to be spending a lot of time in the States, possibly doing kind of tournaments or playing with MLS teams. So maybe the World Cup, MLB strike World Cup, maybe this is the year where MLS becomes maybe the 10th best league in the world, which would be pretty good.
Drastic improvement. Yep.
Which would be pretty good. All right, so we go to our next topic.
Let's go.
James Beard. Do you like these fancy? Our prop department came up with these. You see
this is their production value is way up this week.
It's way up this week. So James Beard Awards.
Third show is going to be amazing.
It only can get better, like the MLS. So let's talk about James Beard. I like restaurants. You like restaurants. The list came out this week. We're not going to rattle off all the winners, but what's your insights on the James Beard Awards?
It's just the nominations, I think.
Okay.
I don't think it's the final winners.
I think they're called semifinalists, right?
Yeah, I think so. Favorite chef in Cincinnati was nominated.
He's back.
Multiple
What's his
times.
name?
Jose Salazar.
We've eaten there, right? Didn't we do a Brigadoon event there?
We did. We ate at Mita's.
Yeah, which was great.
He's an amazing chef. We actually have a pastry chef also nominated here in Cincinnati this year. But yet again, I predict Cincinnati will be shut out by Chicago. The elitist lump Cincinnati and the rest of the Midwest in with Chicago, and feel that we don't have a sophisticated enough palate. But
so if Cincinnati was lumped in with the East Coast, that would be better?
Oh, we'd crush the East Coast. The Beast Coast.
I haven't fully gone through this list. I think this is really fantastic. I'm obsessed with just the old kind of James Beard vibe. What's going on with here? I've been really struck too. Speaking of the East Coast, the number of quality restaurants in Philadelphia is pretty mind blowing. Which I don't think. I mean, I've been sleeping on, so I want to check some of those out. But why are these awards important? You're saying it's hard for me to think of Chicago as an elite, full of an elitist. That's pretty interesting. Maybe that has something to do with the competition between Cincinnati and Chicago. But why are these awards important?
I really think it sets the tone of where food is moving in the country, which is fun to see what's happening.
But how does that play into your whole theory about entertainment?
Entertainment is besides sitting down for a very succinct soccer match that you like, 90 minutes in and out. When it starts, it's going to end. Going out and having something to eat, having a good drink is the best way to get some great entertainment. It drives interaction. It's great urban. It's great community building. From the beginning, that's where communities were centered around the local tavern, and figuring out what's going on is important.
Well, tell me about too, from an economic development standpoint. I assume if a chef or a pastry chef comes in here and drops any kind of James Beard credential, that's got to help with funding, buzz, marketing. People seem to know what James Beard Award means.
Yeah, it probably goes diners, drive-ins, and dives getting on that show, and then James Beard's number 2.
Yeah,
I actually know restaurateurs that don't want Triple D to come to their place because it overwhelms them. So James Beard might be a little.
Is that true? They don't want the Triple D experience? That's interesting.
I think to figure out, what is happening in the world of culinary, what people are, how they're pushing it forward. It's probably as much as music, which we're going to talk about today also, is something that's seen drastic change year over year, every year, in terms of people pushing the culinary arts forward.
Well, you're tied into you're pretty well to do there in Cincinnati. You're tied in, you should be the mayor of the city. When you talk to these chefs, do they feel resentment like they're not being recognized, or is it they're just happy to be mentioned, or are they competitive, or how important it is for a chef to be I want to win this award at least once?
It's very important. I think, everything is a little bit, it's ego driven. It's being recognized by your peers. It's standing out in terms of the quality of what you do. But I think it also helps them, this is their profession, it's how they make their livelihood.
Yeah.
It's just going to drive more customers, more revenue to their business. At the end of the day, that's what they want. They want to be able to continue to do what they love as a passion. And it's tough. It is a tough industry to continue to innovate and stay ahead of the game, culinary wise, and then monetary wise to do that.
Do you think
it's very important to them?
Do you
think cities should embrace it?
Yeah. Do you think there should be no joke? Should there be a department of culinary promotion? Should cities be hey man, we want to have 3 or 4 of the best chefs, best restaurants. We're going to make an investment, make this a priority. We're going to help find them space. We're going to promote them, etc. I mean,
yes, because not only that, it actually helps the entire ecosystem of the economy. It's a great place to get people jobs. It's a great entry level. You can get things pushing up. I think we saw a lot of that through the pandemic of people wanting to have a living wage with that, and restaurants adopting that, of bringing everybody in to do that, to learn a skill that's a lifelong skill to be able to make a living on it. It's also great to feed the community. There's a huge effort here. We actually have I think they got a special mention actually with the James Beard things this time. A group called La Soup that actually takes the leftover foods from other restaurants and from grocery stores before they expire, and basically as a soup kitchen puts that together and get the meals out to the needy that need them. So the whole ecosystem around restaurants could drastically improve. I think you got a great idea. We need a director of culinary experience in every major city. A czar.
I mean, it would seem to me, it'd be pretty easy to do. Wouldn't cost that much money. It would be a game changer. You're not so subtle dig on the Windy City vis-a-vis Cincinnati. It's got to be pressure. Like if chefs are like, oh my God, the reason I'm getting mentioned, which is great. I'm working really hard, but I'm not making the upper echelon because I'm not in one of these, top tier cities. Just the competitive nature of trying to keep these chefs in town. Maybe there does have to be that community government support.
Yep.
I think about, I was in Paris a few years ago, and this sounds ridiculous, but anyways, this the Marseille district, whatever, send hate mail to whatever. It was fantastic. I don't even know what part of, it's the Marseille district. So I'm wandering around, having a lovely experience. It's galleries and coffee shops, pretty high-end rent district. I'm kind of doing some quick math. I'm like, how is this possible for a coffee shop? Clearly this is, more expensive than a coffee shop can generate. And I was chatting with these guys, the Peloton Cafe, fantastic, run by a few Americans. And they basically subsidized by the city, by the local council, right? And I thought that was absolutely fantastic because you need like this kind of high-low experience. Of course you can have like the fancy Apple stores or whatever, but it's nice to have a coffee shop. It's nice to have a gallery, have a mix of stuff. I think that's important. Whether that's socialism, I think it's probably good use of like taxpayer money to say, hey, this is an important part of the ecosystem, the way we want to live, and we need to help these kind of smaller restaurants, smaller entrepreneurs out because it adds to the vibrancy of the city.
What's the best meal you've had in the last couple of weeks?
The best meal I've had, well, I got to say, shout out to our friend Frederick Depew, who just opened a new restaurant here in DC, the Henri. We're fortunate enough to do a soft opening. We had one of the first meals there. He's built an amazing property downtown DC, 13th and Penn. Knocked it out of the park. Got to savor a lot of good food. So he's going to have a huge success. I think he's going to knock it out the park, and I'm excited for him.
Great to have him back in the nation's capital, not just Annapolis.
Yeah, it makes it much easier. So, I've already was already scouting out a few tables that I plan to take over and, spend more time there, which was great.
I've got to give one shout out for my daughter who is helping me with my production prep. Her favorite culinary experience, spaghetti tacos.
Taco? Is that a food truck?
Yeah, no, it's a Munitz Lightfoot house tradition now.
Wait, you make them in-house?
Crunchy taco shell. Put the noodles, sauce, meatball eat it in the crunchy taco shell. And she prefers a taco shell with taki dust on it. It's quite
Is this like a legit thing? Is this like a food kitchen? Is this going to go national?
It's an interesting culinary
Are we going to bring are we going to bring the more talented Munitz out of retirement?
You get a little bit of the crunch. The crunch from the taco shell goes nicely with the chewiness of the noodles and the meatball.
What is it about Cincinnati and noodles? There must be there must be a department of noodle at the Cincinnati Cincy Hall. They're like, we've got these noodles. What else can we use them with? Chili, tacos.
Excess. Yeah.
I don't know. That might be a bridge too far. I don't think Frederick Depew at the Henri will be serving
spaghetti taco night.
Spaghetti tacos, but it's a hell of an idea. Speaking of discovering new things, music discovery. How are we discovering music these days?
Gosh, it's hard. It's overwhelming. Used to be easier when you could go to the local record shop, talk to your friends who you thought had great taste, and discover things. Now it's just every place. It's everywhere.
Well, it's a battle too. There's this. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. The streaming services are trying to get to the. How do you get to the top?
Yeah. Well, there's also this idea of explore versus exploit, right? So humans want to exploit the knowledge they have, and there's music, like there's literally songs I've been listening to for 4 decades, which is completely insane. I still love them today. And, is it like, should I exploit what I like, keep the knowledge, listening to what I like, or should I explore and find new music? And how you do that? And the streaming has really shook it up. I used Pandora for a long time, found it to be absolutely fantastic. Now I've pivoted to YouTube Music, which isn't that great in terms of discovery. I found it to be a good player. I haven't gone down the Spotify rabbit hole, but even that, the algo, seems to be controlling it. It's if you listen to certain songs, it'll keep sending you the same songs, which isn't that great. Great either.
Yes. As you know, I'm all in on the Apple universe. So I have Apple Music, and yes, it sends you the same songs. Even if you try to randomize it and find somebody, it keeps filtering in the same mix. Even the same exact song, not even the artist. It doesn't even go that deep onto the artist catalog. So it's tough to figure out how to get there and how you break.
Yeah, is it early days on these music algos, or it's probably easier to code stuff that says, oh, Chad Munich likes Nicki Minaj. Let's keep sending him more Nicki Minaj, right? As opposed to being like, oh, maybe 3 or 4 other songs, we should send them a new song.
If you like this, you'll like this. I still find the best way is to go to the local record store and talk to people that are in there, talk to the employees that are in there.
Well, let's speak about that because, you famously were kind enough for my birthday to enter me into into the pleasure that is vinyl and bought me a proper record player. I'm struggling with that too, because there's obviously there's so much more stuff on vinyl and it's quite pricey. Some of these albums are going for $25-$30, maybe even higher for collector stuff. That could add up pretty quickly. So then for me, I'm struggling with okay, I can't buy everything. So should I only buy, say, Blue Note Jazz? And I think that's been my decision. But then am I limiting myself? True, but am I limiting myself? Is there other stuff I should be going on and doing? And it's that whole explore versus exploit thing.
And so when you're looking, how do you break out? If you know you like Blue Note Jazz, what's something new that's coming out today, 2023, 2022, that would appeal to your senses?
For jazz, there's no good jazz after I think 65. But no, for music, it's kind of interesting. Actually, one of my favorite sources for music is KCRW, which is an NPR station out of Santa Monica. They've got all kinds of great shows. One of the shows they play it's called basically Eclectic 24. It's just a free streaming service. You can get it on their app. KCRW is at the forefront of where music is going. Some of the most amazing playlists. That's probably the best source of discovery music for me out there. And that's human powered. They actually have DJs, people in the trenches, listening to stuff, making this decision, and it's a huge resource. I don't know if you listen to KCRW, but absolutely fantastic. Great. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, you're losing. I don't know there's any stations even here that are not large corporate owned stations that are just literally playing the same playlist with a national DJ. Yeah,
which is a shame. Because it doesn't seem to me that radio is that expensive. I don't know. The value proposition maybe just can't be underwritten like it was in the day. Even listening to college radio, there was this great, this sounds so antiquated, but I used to get this magazine called The Rolling Stone. It was in print and they would mail it to you and it was delivered to your house. But in the back, there was a list, right? They had various music lists. One of the best was obviously college radio. I guess that probably still exists somewhere. Somebody's probably doing that, but I would have no idea where to find it. But once again, there's some human deciding, hey, here's a curated list you should check out.
Yep. I was always Spin magazine guy, more than Rolling Stone. And
I could see that.
TikTok is where all the new music's coming from now.
But see, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to stay with KCRW, YouTube, and I don't know, Blue Note Jazz. I'm in some ways, it's I kind of know what I like. You know what I mean?
Yes. We're showing.
But when you do discover a new band, what is your latest music? If you were to throw out some music names.
New music?
Yeah. Or just anything you like that will be esoteric that only 3 people in Oslo will listen to. But
in terms of jazz, which I've shared you, I'm a lover of the Hammond B3 organ jazz music.
There we go.
And there is a new band. It's actually signed to a Cincinnati label. They're all out of the West Coast, though. The Delvon Lamarr Organ Trio just had a new album come out last month.
Okay. We'll put that in the show notes. They're cool to check out. All right. What else you got?
And then back to the old school days, Superchunk. Great.
Superchunk. No idea who that is. Okay.
Great punk rock band from Raleigh, Durham. Started the music label Merge, which has had hundreds of fantastic artists. Superchunk just dropped a new album yesterday. I guess new albums will come out on Friday. I think so.
And you just saw a concert. I think, didn't you just listen to some live music?
I literally just went to live music a couple weeks ago. Artists I'd never heard of. I love discovering actually through seeing live music. Don't do near enough of that with having a kid and life and then the pandemic. I saw an artist named Remy Wolf. She was very fun, young crowd. Without a doubt, was the oldest person in the entire concert hall. But there's probably 1,000 people there having fun and dancing to the youthful music of Remy Wolf.
So are you pro Remy Wolf? Do you think we'll see more of her?
Maybe. She's not in my rotation.
Perfect. That's another. I love that, Ryan. Heavy rotation. I'm listening to this band out of Scotland called Frightened Rabbit. It's a bit melancholy, damp, kind of classic Scottish weather. The lead singer unfortunately killed himself, so the music's a little heavy at times, but randomly discovered them. And then there's a band, Lord Huron. I think they're out of Canada. I don't even know where they're from, but and I don't even know how, if they're relatively new. They're new to me. I don't know. They're putting out some really cool stuff. I guess in terms of downside, the streaming stuff, I'm not sure I'd ever be exposed to, kind of Scottish alternative rock music, and the ability now to kind of find these bands, go out there, add them to your queue. I guess obviously that's the upside, because even a record store, they can't carry everything.
Yep.
So
go check those out. Next topic.
Should we get into it? One more topic? The last one. Are you ready? Our favorite segment. What are we reading or watching? Yeah. And I think we talked about some stuff.
We've dropped some stuff already.
But do we have anything else to close out? What are you reading or watching?
Well, I mentioned the book I started on your recommendation, so I'm getting schooling on professional football.
You're going to love it, man. It's so much better than the NFL, dude. There's so much pageantry, sport. We got to get you over to London, see some matches.
This will be one I'm sure is not on your reading list, but a great comic book series has restarted. It's been on hiatus for a number of years, called Saga.
You're 100% correct. I'm Googling this now, though. Saga, okay.
I think I've got somewhere behind me, the original one.
Epic space opera fantasy comic book series.
So this was the original, 55 issues.
It's pretty thick.
So 55 issues, but the new one started coming out last month.
Deliver? Was it good?
It's delivering. It picks up and it's going on. It's a great story, and hopefully it doesn't get. If it does get optioned for a TV show or a movie, that they show it some respect and do it well. Because I saw right next to it, Why the Last Man Standing. It's another great comic series that I read. There you go.
Aren't these all basically the same story?
They turned that into a TV show that was not very good.
There we go. Yeah, you were spot on. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't understand any of the words coming out of your mouth. That's good stuff. I'm going to go with this. This is a pretty cool book. So it's put out by a firm in Korea, and it's a magazine called B. Let me see this. Mm-hmm. You can pick this up at Sid Mashburn, actually. But what they do, it's a brand documentary magazine. This one is on Staub, the French cookware, and they do a deep dive on all kinds of Staub products, backstories. The curation is high. The detail's fantastic. And they've done like 20 of these different books, New Balance, IKEA, or they do a deep dive on a brand. So pretty cool magazine. Great idea too. Brand documentary magazine called B. Yeah, I gotta get you the New Balance copy, man. So I don't know. That was pretty cool. It was a gift to me, but something I enjoyed. And another thing, I guess I'll have to collect now. I got to pick up the other magazines, but right once you have one, you have to have at least 10. You got to have more.
Yes.
All right, buddy. It was good catching up. Any other insights, or do you want to make a prediction on the? You've made one prediction on the MLS. Any other predictions?
No other
I'm going to Google here.
Detroit prediction.
Well, Detroit
for the USFL starts.
Michigan Panthers. Yeah, I mean Michigan.
You interested in watching the draft?
We had the number 1 draft pick, Sean Peterson, I think. Right, he played at the University of Michigan. As you know, man, Michigan is the home of champions. So the Michigan Panthers have won. I think Jeff Fisher's the coach. I don't really understand the USFL or where they're playing, but it's fantastic. The world needs more football, whether it's soccer or whether it's tackle. So the pros here, by the way, they predict once again New York City FC to be the best team again. They won last year's MLS, so more big city elitists winning. I'm not sure. Let me see where FC Cincinnati comes in. DC United, they have them 9th, so that's not great. That's probably last because there's like 28 teams. 13th for FC Cincinnati, so
I'd be happy.
Which isn't last.
Middle of the road finish. That would be huge improvement.
They should be better than Charlotte, is what they're saying, which is an expansion team. So there you go.
All right.
All right, buddy. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. This was great. Keep it real. Keep playing the Hammond organ.
Thanks.
Ciao.